Hey, good evening. What's going on? I'm Lupo. This is Ian. Welcome back to episode. What? I was gonna say the
Do you
episode.
have the number?
No.
I know you don't.
Okay. As you can tell, so maybe you don't know that. Maybe you do know. By now, you probably should know that. But when Ian and I decided in the summer, it was around the middle of the summer to do a podcast. The idea came to be as a result of us shooting an instructional on half guard, and we were doing that late at night at the same time, actually the same time that we're shooting the podcast now, because everybody's gone from the gym, and obviously we needed to be quiet for shooting an instructional film. So we would shoot until about midnight. It gets late, you get tired and all that stuff, and then you know how it's summer, it's hot. We go outside and we park right outside the gym in the street, and we go outside and we hang out for another like 20 minutes just talking as if we haven't
Plus.
seen each other. Meanwhile, and we're
It's
just
pretty funny.
talking about, like, I don't even remember any topic that we spoke about.
Yeah.
And then we said we should just record. Oh, because it was something. When we decided, it was something that was actually funny. It was something
It
quite
wasn't
hilarious.
It wasn't the ecological stuff, was it? I can't remember.
I don't remember what it was. It was, yeah, maybe it was something about that. Anyway, but it happened to be funny, and we were like, we should be recording this
You
conversation.
should bottle that magic.
Yeah, and then it turns out that it's possible, apparently,
It's possible.
apparently we can record the conversations. So that's why, I don't bother looking at what episode it is and all that stuff, because we want to be as unprepared as possible, unless we have. Unless we have.
Unless we have
Are
a
you
guest.
prepared?
I'm always prepared for a conversation with a friend.
Yeah, but you're not prepared.
I don't have notes.
No, neither do I. But
I've got some ideas a little bit, but not
you
really.
barely got a telephone. No, I'm kidding. No, but unless we have a guest that we need to prepare for, like someone that that we need to know more about, like if it's Sasha or somebody, we don't really prepare. There's nothing to prepare.
We know her
It's
well.
nothing, yeah, and there isn't much to prepare. But other people like Ed and stuff, we needed to prepare a little more because we needed to know more about the person so we can ask the right questions, kind of like an interview, like a real thing, But yeah, so here's how we're gonna start this one, right? This episode. Right before I started filming, we were discussing the Shawshank Redemption, which I was just watching the movie.
I thought you were joking, but I'm ready. I'm prepared. Let's do this.
Yeah. So no, it's a conversation,
It
right?
is, it
And I
is.
told you, let's save it for
Yes,
the
you
camera,
did.
because I heard your opinion.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's true.
Okay.
So we have a discussion. There you go. So if you haven't seen The Shawshank Redemption or read the book, I recommend both. I think it's Stephen King's book, unconfirmed, but I'm pretty sure it is.
Oh, okay.
I've read the book, actually. Yeah, look it up, Jamie. I've read the book. I've read the book, and the book is not very thick. It's like probably 150, maybe 200 pages. The movie is like 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 20 minutes, which is strange because it means they kept most of the details in it, except for one detail that I clearly remember or not remember seeing in the book, and that's the fact that, actually you can look that up.
Stephen King.
Stephen King, yes. Okay,
It's
look
a
up
novella too, which is a good point. This is a short novel.
short novel, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, can you do me a favor and look up the next question I'm about to ask?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it. So the details, yeah.
Well,
the
what
detail
question?
that I...
What question?
Hold on. The detail that I don't remember seeing in the movie, or in the book, is the fact that Morgan Freeman, who did an amazing job, Morgan Freeman was the character of Red. From what I remember in the book, the reason his name was Red was because he had a red hair. He was a ginger, and he was a white character, right? So they put Morgan Freeman to play the role of a white person, right? Which is, I don't have a problem with it. He did an amazing job.
That's what they
But
said.
that's
That's what they said in the book. Was the reason why?
yeah, no, there is. Oh yes. So look that up for me, please. Check it out in just just to refresh my memory, because I've read that book around the year 2000. That's like 25 years ago. But look it up
You asked
as
that
in
question.
who was Morgan Freeman's character in the book Shawshank Redemption?
They're gonna say red.
Correct. And then follow up with the question: was it a white person or an African American?
They're gonna say black because he's black.
No, not necessarily, because you're asking Google and it's AI. It's gonna pick up the information.
This isn't AI. The AI is it?
No, it'll give you the information as
Okay.
such once you Google it there. Morgan Freeman's character in Shawshank Redemption in the book. In Shawshank Redemption book. And then we'll see what happens. Now, there is a reason.
Shawshank Redemption book. Race?
No, let's just do this. Hold on. Shawshank Redemption characters.
What is Red's real name in Shawshank Redemption book?
Ellis Boyd Redding.
That's probably why
so
his name
now,
is Red.
Right, okay. Ellis Boyd Redding. Now, here you can go to.
I don't know where you went with Goodreads. Oh, the Goodreads is you review books.
Yeah. Anyway, the Shawshank Redemption thing was not the actual argument that we had. That's because none of us could really find that, even before we started googling. But it's what stuck with me that that the character was white in the book.
So they said it was. They said, well, we kind of assumed it was. His name is Red because his last name is Redding.
Redding, yes, but also yes, okay.
But you know, like
Maybe it's
Malcolm
not-
X,
Yeah.
he used to have a nickname called Red.
Oh, really?
Like if you're light-skinned black people,
Uh-huh.
that was like a nickname. That used to be a nickname.
Oh, okay,
Red.
okay. Oh, okay. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. But here's what isn't. So there is another movie also based on a book, and it's called The Pelican Brief. Now this is where we had
This
a
is where we
conversation.
differ.
Yes. So this is where we have a conversation. It's not about whether it's black or white character, but it's about Denzel Washington. So Denzel plays the main male character in the movie The Pelican Brief, and Julia Roberts plays the female main character, because there are two main characters, right? The female main character in that movie. The movie is based on a book by John Grisham, The Pelican Brief, same name. And it was written in the 90s, and the movie was made in the 90s, and at the time when they were like the hottest things in terms of actors. You know, Julia Roberts after Pretty Woman and a couple other movies was like the highest paid or whatever, and Denzel had made, I think,
He was big?
Yeah, he was big at the time. He had made just made a couple of big movies. Anyway, so I'm guessing they picked the two
Wasn't he in
biggest.
that October movie too?
Yeah, I think so.
The Red October.
And, no, was he?
Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman and Sean Connery was in the Red October.
Okay.
The Submarine.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, maybe.
I think it's been a long time. Anyway, let's.
Oh no, he was in another. Maybe I can't remember. But bottom line is they were the two of the hottest names for the 90s, right? At the time when the movie was shot. So I guess they picked the biggest actors to make a big movie, you know, like box office hit. And they did. They succeeded. The character in the book is white. They picked Denzel for obvious reasons. But Denzel is black. Now, in the book, the two of them hook up, right? There's some litigation. They're lawyer and customer, or both of them are lawyers or whatever, but they end up hooking up. In the movie, they don't, and there is an explanation. Now you can look that up. There was a thing where Denzel explained why he didn't hook up with her, because she's white, because he did that. He didn't want to disrespect black women by kissing a white woman on screen.
Yeah, that's corny.
Right.
Well, okay,
well, that
okay.
was his explanation. But
Okay, wait a
I may
minute.
be mistaken. Maybe that was just a
me ask
freaking
you a quick
rumor. You know,
question.
I don't know.
That excuse, okay, when you told me at first, I thought you were talking about the character had a reason why.
Oh, no,
It
no.
was Denzel's reason?
No, that was Denzel's reason.
Oh, Denzel, the real person.
Denzel's reason to not follow with what. So the script in the movie was supposed to follow the book, and they were supposed to
I
hook
thought-
up.
okay, I thought
but
you
they
s-
don't hook up in the book in the movie.
I thought you were saying that the writers, they wrote in the excuse that the character didn't want to disrespect his sisters. So you're saying the actor Denzel.
No, the actor Denzel
told
didn't want.
them, "No, I'm
Can
not kissing this girl."
Can you Google that? I came unprepared, no computer, no nothing. But we got Jamie over here.
I don't know
Can
how
you?
to ask
I'll
that
tell you. I'll
question.
tell you how to Google it. Just type in. Hold on. It's got a microphone.
It's got a microphone. That's how my dad does it. He's
Okay.
like, tell Google.
Right, let's
I
see.
never talk to Google.
Let's see. Why does Denzel Washington not want to hook up with Julia Roberts in the Pelican Brief as they do in the book, supposedly?
If an answer comes up, I'm going to be really impressed.
All right, in the film adaptation of The Pelican Brief, Denzel Washington's character, Greg Random, does not romantically pursue Julia Roberts' character, Darby Shaw, as they do in the book because,
The
now that's highlighted, the
filmmakers
filmmakers opted to focus more on the investigative thriller, the story, choosing to downplay the romantic subplot potentially due to concerns about interracial relationships between being portrayed on screen at the time. Holy motherfucker. And all these years, I'm blaming Denzel. I'm bad-mouthing that beautiful person.
Look, I called that,
I'm
but
so
let me
embarrassed.
tell you.
I'm so embarrassed. You didn't call anything. You just...
I called that.
No, you didn't. You said...
Bro, 100% I called that. Okay.
Oh, no, you said yes. You said, yeah,
Because
you called.
I've got a thing about movies. When I watch a movie, I'm really, really careful about looking for stuff like that. And I find it frequently. And people, when I watch movies with, like the people that I used to watch movies with, they would get upset because I'll find something.
Like what?
Okay, I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
The last time this happened was years and years ago. We watched. Okay, it was a movie with Jack Black was in it. Kevin Hart. It was a remake of a movie. I think it was a video game. And the characters go into the video game. We'll think of it. The reason why I had such a problem with it.
Years ago?
The Rock was in it.
Years ago?
Yes. It was maybe 15 years ago the original came out.
Oh, the original. And they just remade it?
They just remade it.
What was that, Minecraft? The Minecraft movie?
No, when I say that, they just remade it like 7 or 8 years ago.
Oh.
It was a I'll find it.
Okay.
The problem I had with it, it was like The Rock was in it, Kevin Hart was in it, a couple of other stars. Every character, as stories do, has an arc. From where they are in the beginning of the film to where they are in the end, the character moves.
Yeah.
And usually they grow in some kind of way, they learn something.
Right.
Kevin Hart was the only quote unquote black character, okay? I'm not considering The Rock.
Yeah.
Okay? Kevin Hart's character was also the only one that had no character arc. He was cheesy in the beginning, corny, selfish, and he was the exact same way at the end, whereas everyone else grew along with it. So as I'm watching this with my buddies, and this is a particular time where I was like, they kind of know how I am. So once I started seeing stuff, I just was talking throughout the movie, and I was like, oh, see, that's cheesy, and I just kept, every time I was reminded of something that proved my point, I would bring it to him, to the point where it was, I kind
but
of ruined the movie for everybody.
It's Kevin Hart, though. I mean, Kevin Hart is like
But
What?
I'll tell you this, and I haven't proven this because I won't watch the first one. My thing was, I bet you the character that Kevin Hart was playing in the first one had a full character arc.
That's an interesting point
I
because
just want to see what movie it was because you'll be like, oh,
I don't think I've seen it. Otherwise, I would have remembered. I mean, I've seen movies with Kevin Hart and The Rock. Obviously, I mean, who hasn't? You must have stumbled upon one of them at least. What is the name of the movie that starred Jack Black, Kevin Hart, and The Rock?
I think Jack Black was in it.
Jumanji.
Jumanji? Okay.
Yes.
The next level.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So Jumanji: The Next Level is the name. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So,
So I pay attention to movies and
Jumanji: The Next Level is the name.
like when I told you that, I'd never heard about that, but I pick up on that. So
But I didn't know it was the producer's or the filmmaker's idea. I did not know that.
my thing is they don't.
I heard different, and then when I heard it, I was like, obviously that's a bullshit thing that I've heard. But
with me, I'm like they're not gonna. Denzel is the star. She's a star too, but he's the lead. Find me a movie. This is a challenge that I would say to somebody. Like what I would say to you. Find me a movie where there's a black lead and a main white girl where they hook up.
that's a good.
And I'm like, you'll be hard pressed to find that. Why? Because it's something that
Mom, that's a homework for me for next time, because next time we got Dr. Dan.
oh, that'll be nice.
Stay tuned. Yes. But
Dr. Dworkis.
we can ask him that question. He's a doctor. He's smart. He'll come up with an answer for us.
Did you ever see Get Out?
Yeah.
Okay, this is a good example.
Now let me try and remember what it was about, because
It was a body stature thing. With the black guy had a white girlfriend and she took him home for a holiday, and her mom is a hypnotist.
I can't.
And the
Dude,
story
I
was-
can't remember the story at all.
The old white
No, I've
people
seen
that
it.
were friend of her parents, if you bring a young black dude or young black person, they could swap bodies. So the black person with their soul or their personality or whatever would go into this scary place, and the old white person's body, the old white person would get their soul, their personality into the black body.
person's. Okay.
When I watched that movie with my white girlfriend at the time, okay,
Have you ever had a black girlfriend?
yes.
You told me you had one. I think.
Why are you trying to blow me up on my last girlfriend was a black girl. My last girlfriend was a black girl. Anyway, real quick, I was watching this movie with my white girlfriend, and
My girlfriend.
my girlfriend.
It's-
She,
it's implied. It's already implied.
It's not
We
implied.
got it.
It's not
It's
implied.
And we might wear matching sweaters too, because it's Christmas time,
Yeah, so get your chocolate.
Get your chocolate. You can't get it anymore. But, you can get a rash guard. I still got a couple in the trunk. Literally, I got a couple in the trunk. Rash guards. Long sleeve.
I'm watching this movie with my girlfriend, and at the end of the film, I was a fan of the film because the dude that wrote it was one of the guys from Key and Peele,
Yeah.
Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of his comedy. 'cause
He's
his comedy,
the tall guy?
He's the darker
darker guy, the shorter one.
You know they're both interracial kids. They both half black, half white.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either until I read this essay by this girl.
They're keeping it a secret, obviously. Obviously, they're keeping it a...
It's strange. Anyway, I'm watching the end of this film, and I'm talking to this girl, and I'm like, something doesn't feel right. I like Jordan Peele's comedy because it has like this strange dark aspect to it,
It does.
right? So I'm watching the ending of this film, and I'm like, it doesn't feel right. Jordan Peele's comedy is not like that. It's just darker. The film ends. There's like a blank screen for 2 seconds, and then Jordan Peele comes on the screen. This is like some version that she had It was like a special version.
Yeah. That's
Like the
director's cut
right,
or whatever. Yeah.
So
yeah.
Jordan Peele was like, "Hey guys, I had to end." He says this way cooler, but pretty much what he says is, he was like, "I had to end the film this way because if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Because America could not stand. I couldn't have a white girl getting shot by a black dude in the last sequence. So he said, what we did was we ended it the way that we had to end it, politically speaking,
Yeah.
PC. But I got everyone together, and I was like, let's do this thing. Let's end it in the best artistic way. And everyone was like, okay. So then he had an alternate ending. And then that screen went to black, and then he played the alternate ending, which was exactly how I thought it should be. Now, I said all that to say, I know for a fact in Hollywood there's certain things that you can and can't do, obviously. And that race thing is something that's not always talked about, but it's something that I've noticed a lot. And in that film in particular, I kind of got as much evidence.
Nobody told Quentin Tarantino that.
Well,
Obviously.
Quentin Tarantino is kind of, but he's kind of, in all his films, he's like 4.
Well, that's his whole thing. That's his whole style, you know.
Yeah.
He's like, he wrote a role for himself in Pulp Fiction.
He does that in a bunch of his films. He
I
writes roles
know,
for
but
himself.
specifically that one. I was like,
That was crazy.
I gotta say what it is.
That was crazy.
You can say it if you want.
That
I
was
can't
crazy.
say it, but
I don't remember his name. I remember that scene though.
no. The name of the character was Bonnie's husband, right?
Bonnie's
They
husband.
never showed Bonnie. They only showed her from the
They
back.
did show her.
from
She was
behind.
black though.
Was she black?
She was. This is another thing. What about that movie?
I don't even remember that. No, because they show her from the back. She was a nurse. She came back from the hospital.
She came back
from
but
the night shift.
They definitely show her. Once I saw her in my mind, I did all this math. I was like,
See, I didn't even notice that,
one
dude.
theme about that movie is interracial relationships.
Oh yeah, because Uma Thurman was with Ving Rhames. So
And even the two main stars, John Travolta.
with
They were like
I was talking about intimate relationship,
But
like
they-
but,
but they were
yes,
good
yes,
friends.
yes, with Jules, right?
Right.
With Samuel Jackson.
There was just a bunch of interracial relationship
That's
type
true,
things going
that's
on in the
true.
film.
Shit,
that was a great film.
I never even thought of that.
That film came out the same year as
95.
I remember.
No, 94.
Came out the
94.
same year as
They
Pulp
just
Fiction.
celebrated.
The reason
That's
why
Pulp Fiction.
The reason why I didn't win anything is because Pulp Fiction, it was going against Pulp Fiction.
Which movie are you talking about?
Pulp Fiction versus Forrest Gump.
Oh yeah, but we're talking about Pulp Fiction
Right.
here.
I'm
yes.
just saying that Pulp
Oh,
Fiction.
that Forrest Gump came out the same year? Oh no.
Pulp Fiction would have won
Oh,
something.
because it came out against Forrest Gump.
Right.
Yeah.
And nothing's gonna win against Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump was good.
quite amazing.
It
Quite
was
amazing.
so good.
Quite amazing.
Yeah.
You can say whatever you want, but that movie
It's a great
was
film. They just came out with a film that was supposed to be like the
Oh,
sequel.
I don't know.
I haven't seen it.
I don't know.
But I heard about
Tom
it.
Hanks. Tom Hanks. Before Forrest Gump was in Philadelphia. Is that correct?
Yeah, I never saw Philadelphia. I remember when it came out though.
Philadelphia is
It's
a
about
great movie,
AIDS.
and it also won. Yes, so he was a homosexual and he got AIDS, right? And his craft was amazing. Like he's a great actor,
He's a
obviously.
great actor.
But he did amazing in that role and all that stuff. He just
Was he
said,
playing a famous person?
I don't think so. I don't know. He just said in this interview, and not recent, like, but I don't know when. He said, you know how nowadays there is a relatively new thing which is what we were talking about. If the role is for a black person, it should be played by a black person. If it's for a white person,
Yeah.
if it's for a woman, it should be. I mean, obviously, it's for a woman, it should be played by a woman. That's kind of different because
Well,
you know
they
it's
changed
a
all that.
female
Remember
character.
Ghostbusters? I didn't even see the second one.
Oh, I don't know.
They
What are you
came out
talking
the
about?
They came out the set with the Ghostbusters.
Yes, yes.
It was all women,
Oh my god.
and it was. I didn't see it obviously, but apparently it was like horrible. This was like within 10 years ago.
I mean,
Yeah, it tells you how big it was. You remember? Did you see the OG Ghostbusters?
hope the sandwiches were good.
You never saw Ghostbusters?
I saw it. I know who you're talking
Dude, the
about.
Stay Puft?
Yes, I was just wondering
Classic.
how they replaced everybody with a woman. That's like
It was weird. It was weird.
It's crazy. But I'm saying like
It's
so
weird.
they're trying to do all this whole thing. So Tom Hanks said that he would not do it again if he would go back in time and had to do it.
He wouldn't do that film?
He wouldn't do that film because he feels that a homosexual should be portrayed by a homosexual. And I'm like, that's going a little bit too far
That's
for me.
too much.
Because your fucking job as an actor is to
Is-
act as someone else.
is to embody
if
another-
you're gonna embody yourself and you're gonna act yourself, then you're probably gonna be Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, that kind of stuff,
What I think he's trying to do, and no judgment because he's the man, but trying to be like, I don't want to take jobs away from homosexual actors.
Well, that's what he's saying. But, dude,
You find the best
what about
one.
what about the series How I Met Your Mother? What's the name of the guy's Harris? His last name is Harris. He's gay and he
Neil
plays
Patrick Harris.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Doogie Howser.
Huh?
His first role was Doogie
Oh,
Howser.
yeah. So he's gay and he
Yeah.
portrays the biggest playboy in the
Right.
series.
I
Like
wonder- right.
yes,
that weird?
The total opposite.
Yeah.
And he does an amazing job. And it's
'Cause
like
he's a good actor.
And it's like by the same logic. I mean that series was like from about 15 years ago, but by the same logic, you're going
It
like
was successful.
yeah, it was successful, of course. It's huge, and you would be like, well, why couldn't they pick a straight man, to do that?
Right.
Well, why would they?
Right.
You
I don't think-
cast somebody.
No one is going to say that with that orientation of the going that way. A gay guy playing a straight guy.
Yeah,
no one's going
because-
to go that way.
Yeah,
no
but that's bullshit. I can say that, like, and then I'm gonna get canceled for that shit. I mean, I'm not gonna get canceled because who the fuck am I to get canceled in the first place? If I get canceled, I've made it before then, and I haven't, so whatever.
Four cauliflower ears.
Yeah. We're not. Yeah, maybe. Red Bull is like withdrawing their.
We're still.
We're still hoping for Red Bull, but since they're not doing anything
got
about
an
it, we're like,
application
you know
in.
what?
It's a big company.
You
man.
know what? Hey,
Yeah,
it's about as real as they give you wings.
I don't think they'll. No one's going to go that way.
Yeah, I mean, but it's the same thing.
That's how
Nobody's
I think,
gonna
it's a
say,
little bit
but by this
strange.
logic, nobody's gonna say, well, why do they have a black man? Which is what I say. Why do they have a black man portraying a white man? Not that it bothers me, but it's a question mark, right? Why did they have to make that change? Now with Denzel, I got it, but I also
I
get it
think-
with Morgan Freeman, great actor,
I think more so
and they did an amazing job,
they
both of
picked
them.
Denzel because Denzel is a name.
Well, it still is. That's quite amazing to me
Yeah.
that 30 years later he's still
He's the man.
like a household name.
He's about to retire. I heard.
I mean, he's 70 years old or something. He
Yeah.
just did the Gladiator 2, which I haven't seen yet.
Pete
But-
said it was okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna talk about it because I haven't seen it and I don't want to spoil it for
I wanna
anybody,
see it
including
too.
myself.
Yeah, I want to see it too.
But my wife watched it and she
she
liked
like
it.
it?
She liked it. Yes, she liked it. And Pedro Pascal is in it, and whatever. But there is a nice storyline and all that. But the thing is, and it's a Ridley Scott movie. I mean,
It's gonna be good.
He made the first one. He's entitled to do whatever he wants in the second one. I don't
Right.
care. If somebody else made the second one and you don't like it, that's a different story. Like kind of like Jason Bourne. I think they were made by different.
Right.
Although the trilogy of Jason Bourne was
Is-
amazing. They're gonna
right.
have a new one in 2025.
Really?
Yeah, Matt Damon is gonna use crutches or something on it. I don't know, like a walking stick or something.
'Cause he's so old?
Yeah, I guess. The fuck is Jason Bourne gonna be like there? Like, what is he gonna become? A director of CIA looking for himself undercover? The hell?
That's looking for himself undercover.
No, it's no. I'm all for it because I love them. I love the movies. It's that's the fifth one. They had four.
Matt Damon's
they
alright
had
with
four
me.
already, and all four of them were great. I said the trilogy, but all four were great. And so they
haven't
also
seen all
had
of
one with what's his name? The gentleman that was in he was not in a snowboarding accident. He got hit by one of those vehicles that plow the snow.
Oh.
Jeremy
Jeremy-
Renner.
right,
Renner,
right.
yeah.
He's on a TV show now.
He's
My
on.
buddy watches a TV
Okay,
show with
so
him
so
on.
I started watching that TV show. This episode is like fucking we're like TV critics here, like the movie,
Siskel and
like
Ebert.
Roper and Ebert. Hold on, let me double check the camera here.
Yeah.
I don't want to be out of. There you go.
Out of frame.
Yeah, I feel like I was out of frame a little bit there for a second, which my voice is enough. But the show is the mayor of Kingstown.
Renner.
Kingstown.
Yeah.
The mayor of Kingstown.
It's not a bad show.
It's not a bad show, but I started watching it and
My roommate watched it. I'm not.
I tried
whatever.
watching it and I don't know, I can't get into it. For some reason I couldn't get into it. And I like that kind of show, I like those kind of shows about prisons and stuff. But then again, I also started watching Oz. Have you seen Oz?
The jail show.
The jail show.
I've seen a couple of episodes.
I saw a
from
few
back in the
episodes
day.
and
It's kind of scary.
I saw a few episodes. I think they're doing a good job and all that
I
stuff.
think it was a good show. It's just not.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to see craziness
and
like
I
that.
couldn't, and I just couldn't continue watching it for some reason. It wasn't.
It's a bit much.
Yeah.
It's a bit much for me.
I'm not saying it's a bad show. I just couldn't get it. Like, didn't get into it. But anyway, so
It's just
I
the
didn't get into
violence for me
the.
is-
I didn't get into Mayor Kingstown either. But I'm gonna give it a try with another episode because the first episode is kind of like intro. He becomes the mayor of Kingstown in the first episode because his brother but his brother got killed, right? So now he becomes, but he doesn't seem to be kind of ready for it. So it's like that kind of stuff.
He healed well.
He healed.
He was
well.
jammed up for a while.
Oh yeah,
apparently.
he was.
It was a snow.
The snow
snow-
plow, or was it a? Oh, it was
a
it
machine?
one of those
That's
snow?
what I thought.
I don't know. But
Bless his heart for being okay though. Thank goodness. Thank
yeah.
God.
Yeah, they had to pause the show, but he was.
Oh, it happened while he was on the show. I didn't know that.
Yeah. No, it happened. Maybe between,
between,
seasons.
okay.
But still,
He
they
wasn't ready
couldn't.
for
They
the
couldn't
comeback.
start. Yeah, of course. It took
Yeah.
months. I think they were fearing for his life. That's how bad it
Yeah,
was.
it was bad for a second.
Yeah. But what were we talking about? We were talking about we were talking about how Denzel was a big star at the time in the '90s when the movie was made, and that there was a good reason for him to be cast.
Because
And
he was a big star. I
there
think.
was a great reason for Morgan Freeman to be cast too, because he was a big star too at the time. Like nowadays, if they had to do the same thing, they would probably pick Samuel Jackson, for example. Samuel Jackson was not as big a star in the '90s. He was he had like very small roles in. He was a known name, but before Pulp Fiction,
Pulp Fiction blew him
yeah,
up.
before Pulp Fiction, he was in Jurassic Park, small role.
Was- right.
Yes, he was in.
I don't even remember any of these.
The
any films.
Goodfellas. The Goodfellas.
I don't even remember that.
You've seen the Goodfellas? Yeah, he was in the Goodfellas. He was a character that did the. He did the. I think he did the 411 on the heist that they made.
I can't
They
even-
did a $500,000 heist on the French Airlines or something, or Lufthansa. I can't remember, and that was like how they all got into money. That was their biggest thing. And mind you, this whole thing is happening in the 70s, right? So $500,000 at the time was a lot of money, right? So they did that, and he was the guy that got the inside information on everything, and I think Joe Pesci was the one who took care of him, tied
I
up
remember
the loose end.
Very small pieces of these.
Oh,
movies.
I just saw the Goodfellas again like a couple of weeks ago,
okay.
but Joe Pesci was the one who tied up the loose end on him, basically.
He's
And
not a good actor.
yeah, who Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah. He
Kind of like a character actor, kind of.
well,
Where he always plays the same.
yeah, I'll tell you in a second about him. But my point is that Denzel, like at the time, well played, fully deserved, obviously. But can you ask that question? Why do you have to put a black actor? Because I'm sure there were white actors. They could have put Bruce Willis, for example, just to give you an example, right?
Do you
at
think
the
he would
time.
have fit though?
I don't know. He was an action hero, so maybe not. I'm just pulling names out of my
'Cause I don't
ass.
know
but,
what
but
there's probably a difference between like a leading man
yeah, of
and
course.
an action
Of
star.
course, of course, of course. But they
Like, you
could
wouldn't
have
get-
put somebody, right?
Like Tom Cruise is a leading man.
Tom
but
Cruise wouldn't be
wouldn't
appropriate
fit.
for that.
It
Neither
wouldn't
would Bruce
fit.
Willis probably. Neither was Bruce. Although Sixth Sense proved me wrong in that
I never saw
in that
that.
regard, because the Sixth Sense he
People
was the
always told
leading.
me to see it.
Yeah, it's a great movie. But he was the leading character, and he was just great, you know. But
And also, a lot of times, this is a little bit strange, and it's hard to judge. But you hear of these actors that, for whatever reason, were turned down a role. I can't even think of anything off, but they'll be like, Johnny Depp was up for Neo.
oh
And
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like-
oh yeah, yeah.
But now that it's like after the point, you're like, oh, that would never have worked. It's hard to say.
It's
that
hard to tell
in the
whether it's going to
beginning.
work or not, because yes,
Right.
yes. Another role where Denzel was cast, and he was. It's based on a book as well, and I can't remember who the author is, but it's based on a book, Man on Fire, with Dakota Fanning and
Little girl, right.
Mark Anthony. Remember Mark Anthony? Was it Mark Anthony in the? No,
I never saw
no.
that.
Anyway, he was the main character there, and the main character in the book, I don't think he's black either. But they put him there because why the fuck not? And he did a great job. And by the way, in the Equalizer 3, Equalizer 3, which are his franchise, he reunites with Dakota Fanning.
Oh, really?
Oh, you didn't? You haven't seen the?
No, that's pretty cool.
He's there. You know what the weirdest thing is? He makes contact with her as she works for the CIA, and he finds something out via one of his shooting sprees, and something that might be of interest to the CIA, and he makes a phone call to their financial investigations department, and she goes like blah blah blah, like it's a call center or something, you know, and he's like, yes, this is.
Would that be considered an Easter egg?
What does that mean?
Oh, an Easter egg is like a secret thing, kind of like that,
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
like from two different movies.
You know, like, yeah, I see what you mean. Like a little like
someone-
a homage to
Right.
yeah. So well, it sounded like it because what happened was obviously she's a grown woman now, and so what happened was she was a little girl and she was
Man
the
on
one who
Fire.
got kidnapped and he went to save her and all
I
that
saw
stuff,
part of
which
that.
which is amazing to me because he looks the same as when he saved her and she doesn't anymore at
She's
all.
like a woman.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so in the Equalizer 3, he calls the number and he says, I have something that might be of interest to you, and she goes, who are you? And he's like, that doesn't really matter. And then he tells her, and she's like, how do you have this number? And he says, don't worry about it. Just check up on that thing. Anyway, so
That's pretty
she
cute.
finds him. He's in Italy, by the way, when he made the call, and she was in America supposedly. She flies over. She finds him, and they make contact in a street cafe, right? And she was sitting there, and he's sitting at his table, and he's like OCD, and he's putting his stuff together, like Jack Nicholson in that movie, what's it called? And he's like drinking his tea, and she takes a picture. She's like this with her phone, as if she's looking at something, but she actually takes a picture, and he says, you should just ask me to smile, you know. and she goes, how do you know, who I am? And he goes, well, we're in Napoli, and you're holding a map of Rome, so which is crazy to me, but anyway.
Right.
Anyway, so
Where were they?
And she was the only like tourist in the little in a small suburb of Napoli, I guess, and
Okay.
Naples. Well,
Okay.
Napoli is Naples, right? And anyway, so but that whole thing, how they, and then she sits at his table and they start talking, and she's like. There was something that they said in the conversation that was kind of like homage, like kind of like you remind me of someone I've seen before, that
Yeah,
kind of stuff.
yeah.
I'm not saying that this is what they said, but it was quite
Yeah.
interesting how you
Yeah.
kind of
People love
so,
that.
Yeah. So it was pretty cool, right? Joe Pesci, he
I think my favorite of him was Casino.
Casino, right? And so he played all these roles, except
always
for
plays
Little
the-
Weapon, where he played
That's different.
like
Okay,
like a little bit of a
different character.
comical
Yeah.
character. Very
Yeah.
nice, very well played. I mean, I can't believe this is the same guy. Oh, not just there, Home Alone also. You
I
know,
never saw that, but yeah,
you haven't seen Home Alone?
I've seen.
Where you been?
I've seen like clips of it.
Yeah. So he was.
He
there.
was super young there too.
No, it was in the early '90s.
I
I
say
mean,
super young. He was younger than how I remember him.
well, but in the Goodfellas is from '91.
Yeah, I don't.
And,
really,
and
I
Home
remember,
Alone is from around the
I
same time.
just remember the famous parts of Goodfellas.
Yeah. They made this movie
Like you talk. What was it? Was Goodfellas the one where he's like
with Ray Liotta
who
and
you talking to?
Robert
You
De
talking to
Niro.
me? Or you're laughing at me? Or
You're laughing
something?
at me?
The famous.
Yeah. Am I laughing? Are you all laughing with me?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
laughing. He. They made a movie. Scorsese made a movie not too long ago, a few years ago, with Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, and he invited Joe Pesci. Joe Pesci had retired, okay, but he said, "Let's make another movie." They all call him, and he's like, and that's Scorsese movie, right? It's The Irishman. It's called, right?
Yeah, I heard
and it's
that
a
was-
mob movie. It was about the.
Was it super duper long?
It was not. It was like 2.5 hours, which by today's standards is nothing. It's a regular movie. 2.5 hours. And they, I think, and it was about the unions and, the Jimmy Hoffa times and whatever. And Joe Pesci was like, I don't want to do this kind of movies anymore, I'm like, because he became that character, He's like,
Yeah.
I've done those movies already,
Yeah.
and
I agree.
But he did it. He made
Yeah.
it, So I was like, that was nice.
Was it a good movie?
It's a good movie. Yeah, it's a good movie. They all do, but they all look like fucking. They should have retired like 10 years
Yeah,
ago.
they're old.
Uh,
I saw Al Pacino
I mean,
walking a couple days ago.
Put it this way:
on
De
TV.
Niro looked the youngest of them.
Yeah. Al Pacino looks old.
Al Pacino looks old, and between him and De Niro, they got like young kids and shit. Dude,
No, De Niro just had a kid or something
that's what I'm
crazy.
saying. Yeah. Well, just like a year ago, maybe, but like
When you're 70, that's crazy.
he did a paternity test just in case.
That's intense. It's like what's his name? Moicano, the fighter.
Yeah.
Like 2 or 3 fights ago, after he won, he was like, "Oh, I'm so happy. My dad just had a kid."
Holy shit.
And he was like, "My dad is like 60 something."
Holy.
It's like my dad just turned 60 something and just had a kid. I'm like, whoa, I still got time.
Are you aiming? Are you aiming?
I'm looking for targets as we speak. Black, white.
I was gonna say any white girl that's watching. Any white girl
It
that's
don't
watching.
matter. I'm down with for whatever.
Oh shit.
It's just gotta have a good heart, among other things. But
Yeah. Inside. On the outside,
just DM
there are other
DM
preferences.
DM for cauliflower ears and he'll get it to you.
Yeah, just
With an
or just
application.
comment. Just
With your-
comment.
just comment, just
comment. We'll find you.
I'll pick up your application wherever.
Listen. The picture doesn't even have to match. As long as you have a good heart.
As long as you got a good heart, I'll figure everything else out. The picture doesn't have to match.
Yeah, have you seen those models on Instagram, man? They're
Oh
like
my
fucking
gosh.
they. Where,
I'm too old for that.
Where
Dude,
do they even find them? Like,
I don't even. It
and they're
doesn't
not
even,
just pictures, They do like the whole video dancing and shit like this, and it's like.
I'm immune to that now. I'm so old.
But
I'm so over
it's
bullshit.
crazy because the thing is, it's crazy because those girls 10 years ago, they would have been lining up to do modeling jobs and shit, and some of them could have done well, like the vast minority of them would have done well because there's so many. But now with Instagram, you blow up because you're worldwide known.
Right.
Now you got
Right.
like, because when you look at the profile and you see that they got like 3 million followers on Instagram.
Some of those you can trust. some
Well,
of them you
yes,
can't
yes,
trust.
but the other thing also is you look at the views on each video, and you can see that there's a good amount of views, and all that. I've never gone into comments and stuff, but if you look
Well,
at
that's how you
comments,
kinda can
yeah,
gauge whether
that's how
it's
you can
bots.
gauge. Yes, correct. But what I'm saying is,
You
either
got
way,
3 million views
either
and
way,
like 10 comments.
Yeah.
Something's wrong.
yeah, probably. But either way, if they can make money out of it, they're already ahead of the game. Because
Yeah.
and I mean, they probably could make good money, and a lot of them make
There's a lot
money
of
on
them that are.
OnlyFans. That's the thing. So now, even okay, so this is most of the time pornography probably. So you're looking at adult film actresses who 10 years ago, and when I say 10 years, it could have been like 30 years ago too, would have been out in the street after 2 movies because there's so many, and not everybody is as good looking, as talented, and all that.
Right.
Now you can have your own account with OnlyFans, and you can have your OnlyFans,
Your own audience.
your own audience who pays you money
Yeah.
as a fucking subscription, which is the biggest racket of all because we all know how subscription services work. This is
Yeah.
this is where the money is. Anybody can sell you something for $50 once,
Right.
but
To keep getting
but to
it,
keep
that's a
getting
scam.
milking that cow every
They're
month,
killing
you
it.
know, that's
I don't
that's how
think it's
subscriptions.
as many people as what a lot of people think it is.
Probably not. Probably
My
not.
roommate and I talk about this all the time, and I'm like, dude, all these OnlyFans people aren't millionaires.
No, they're not.
It's just like drug dealers.
It's-
People think all drug dealers are rich.
No.
It's not. It's not like that. There's some at the top, and it's just like anything else. And there's a middling section, and then there's an end.
Yeah.
But everyone is not killing it. Now, are there some killing it? Yes. There's some
For
really
sure.
killing
For
it.
sure. For sure.
But
But I think that
you just don't hear from the ones that aren't like the OnlyFans people that aren't doing well. You never hear
yeah,
from them.
OnlyFans takes 40%, I think, out of your
That
purse.
much?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you hear the uproar about Dana White has some little OnlyFans model? Her name is Jellybean or some foolishness.
No, I didn't hear that.
This little girl. Okay, the promo. This is what you see. You see this McLaren
Yeah.
that's all like got tags all over it. Dana White is rolling out a suitcase, and this little girl is in the suitcase, and then she pops out of the
Little
suitcase.
girl, as in.
She's a little girl. I mean, she's a woman, I guess. They don't say how old she is, but she's an OnlyFans model that bought this $250,000 allegedly McLaren, and they're offering it up as a sweepstakes type thing for Power Slap.
Okay.
And people were like, a bunch of people gave backlash to Dana because of this little girl. She looks like a little girl, but it's also
When you say
like,
little girl, you mean like a little person?
she's like this
You mean
big.
like a little person?
Her body is little.
Oh, you don't mean like a petite
She
woman.
does not. I tell you what, let me be careful.
Yeah, it's okay.
She
Nobody's
doesn't.
watching.
Nobody's watching.
Fucking Red Bull is not watching. Who cares? Modelo didn't want to do anything.
She doesn't look like the type of girl that
Would
Did
have
you-
an OnlyFans account.
you wouldn't look at her and be like, "Ooh, I want to go in the back
Oh, I
room with
see
some
what you-
lotion." You know what I'm saying? You know, like I want to go. "Ugh." You don't think that. I don't, because I'm like, especially like all you see is the car, her and Dana. It's like she looks like she could easily have been Dana White's little daughter. But he's all like, "Oh, she bought this car, OnlyFans, and da 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 da," and it
Sheesh.
was just.
Well, you know,
Maybe I'm older. If I was like 20 something, maybe I would have been like, "Oh, she's hot. I want to get this
a lot
McLaren."
of these girls, they have. I mean, I don't know if a
But
lot of them, but
now that girl, it was probably loaded.
oh, I was gonna say a lot of the UFC girls
She
have.
legitimately was probably a millionaire multiple times. This little girl.
Yeah.
I don't. The numbers of some
What's
of these.
her name?
Jelly Bean.
Oh, check it out. Look it up and see if it's just do Jelly Bean net worth or something like this. Man,
If they know Jelly
your
Bean-
phone is all over the place tonight.
If
If
they
somebody
know-
looks at your fucking history, it's
Dude, there's stuff. I'd be a Jelly Bean girl. Maybe.
Jelly Bean Girl. Yes, go there and then see multiple match for Jelly Bean Girl, including cast member from Paris Caribbean and
No,
American
then
musician. Jelly Bean Girl. Is that her?
that's a TikTok.
Jelly Bean Girl. Jelly Bean Girl.
She kind of looked like that.
All right, let's see who. Jelly Bean Girl, Dana White.
Or OnlyFans.
Dana White. Just go Dana White so we can see Dana White. There you go.
That's her.
Oh, well, she's
Look.
not. Oh,
Look
shit.
at there. She looks little there, right?
Everybody says that I don't care about my cars. Well,
She looks like a little girl, dude.
Yeah,
doesn't
but
she?
she's not. She's not a.
She's obviously not 12, but look
No,
at
no,
her.
right. But
She looks
I
young.
thought you meant. Oh, look.
And look at her
Look,
body.
it says here Jelly Bean Girl on the. See this Jelly Bean on the McLarens?
Well, that's the one that she
Holy
got
shit!
for.
What the fuck?
you're right.
She's loaded.
I'm giving away this McLaren 600 LT at Power Slap for free. Check out the links in our
She
bio
looks
for how to
like
enter.
she looks young,
Everybody
dude.
says that I don't care
She
about
does,
my
but I'm
cars.
sure she's not. I'm sure she's
She's
over 18 at
obviously
least.
legal, or they wouldn't
Yeah.
have her on there. But I'm just saying, she looked.
Go. Let's see. Jelly Bean Girl, net worth.
Because Dana said she bought that car,
Yeah, she said
and
that.
she's tearing that one up, dude.
She's
got so
tearing
much
up another
money.
one.
12 million.
3 million annually. Oh, that's
that's
his
Jelly Roll.
Jelly Roll. Yeah, never mind. Jelly Bean Girl.
Jelly Bean net worth,
Estimated earning of a YouTuber. Oh, she's.
as if it's the same one.
That's
Damn,
not
you're
that.
giving her
no.
monthly numbers out.
No, that's yeah, but that's
How much money does Jelly Bean? How much money does Jelly make?
that's her right here.
Yeah,
Oh no,
I think no.
shit. Jelly Bean Girl net worth. Okay, read it.
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans showing off her lifetime. Easily 1 million.
don't
One
think
in
that's-
a million accounts. Less than 1 in a million
Why do
accounts.
people hate her so much? I don't hate her.
I mean, I don't know, man. People do crazy shit for fame and money, but
Remember the "I'll catch you outside" girl?
the what?
There was this one girl that was just wild, a little white girl, and she was just her catchphrase was "I'll catch you outside." They put her on Dr. Phil's show.
No.
She was on Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil talked all kinds of craziness about her. It was like, "You're a delinquent." Da 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 da. The day that she turned 18, like she was 17 and she's going to be 18 at 12 o'clock. She went on OnlyFans. Instant millionaire.
Well, she was already on Dr. Phil.
She
by
was
then.
already a-
You got the fame already.
Yeah.
You act up crazy in a
Yeah.
TV show.
Yeah.
In a Dr. Phil is crazy
Yeah.
famous was
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah.
And you act up on a show like this. Do you realize what? You
Look
remember?
like
You
Tour
remember
Girl.
the? Oh yeah. Do you remember the Snooki from the Jersey
Shore.
If this girl if this show happened to be today, and this, or she's probably still famous by,
She's probably
but she's
famous.
outdated now.
She's outdated. She doesn't have the money. If she
Yeah.
would have been done,
I was gonna say,
OnlyFans?
if
Yeah.
if this show happened like 5 years ago,
Yeah.
and it was still going, she would be fucking multi-millionaire
She'd be
just
loaded.
from side gigs,
Yep.
not from the show itself.
Yep.
And the show would have been a lot more popular too,
Yep.
and all that stuff. Although it was very popular, that's like 16 years
it was
ago.
a while ago.
But that's before social media. No, it wasn't before social media, but it was definitely before Instagram. It was Facebook. Facebook was the social media back
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
And YouTube. But
They lost
YouTube,
out a
but
little bit.
but if you're a younger viewer, Facebook and YouTube look nothing like they look today. YouTube was like amateur videos all over the place, and Facebook was like people were playing the Farmville and shit.
That was like before they figured out kind of like how to make a bunch of money from it.
Well, because they figured out they started making money through ads and stuff like this. Then they started selling information, I guess, and all that
Yeah.
shit. But then they bought Instagram. They bought Instagram for peanuts.
Instagram blew up.
They bought Instagram for peanuts, and they made Instagram humongous.
Yeah.
If you look at old Instagram, if you ever, I don't know, if you never had an Instagram account before like 2015 or whatever, if you look at an old Instagram account, all you see is like photos, and it's kind of what Threads looks like now, but Threads is like way more advanced, right? The old Instagram was like, I only got it because I had a business then, and I got it as a business page, and
I liked
it was
Instagram.
yeah.
Instagram is cool. It's the only one that I deal with now.
Yeah, me too. I don't.
But it's still
or YouTube as well.
It's
but
still too much for me compared to the time you're talking about.
Yeah.
I really liked it back then.
No, it was
If
very.
it was like it was back then, now I would be on it way more.
So back then you would not be.
It was way calmer.
Yeah, there was no reels. Where now you're scrolling down, and you're laughing at shit, and then next thing, you look at reels. You know how you got the reels on the, and you're
Yeah.
like the reels reel, and then you start scrolling through this, or you click on a certain reel to watch it. And then it sends you to threads, and then from there it becomes like
it's a bottomless pit.
Yes, it's.
I remember when I would get
call
to the,
that-
I would
call
get to
it-
the end of my
I call it
stream.
the rabbit hole, you know.
I would get to the end of the stream of the thing on Instagram. I've done that before.
Oh yeah.
I haven't done that recently.
Easily.
I can't.
There was
I
like.
don't- I don't know if I could do that now.
Now Instagram, if you only follow five accounts, Instagram is gonna make you. No, they're not gonna make you, but they're gonna offer you another 100, just so you can start following more people. Hashtags, all that stuff. This is relatively new, given
The algorithm has got
the
me.
algorithm is like, and it's very similar. And now you can post on Instagram, and it sends directly, if you want to, it sends directly to Facebook, since they're all the same, you know.
Oh, and then they have the link tree type thing.
Now you can do in your bio, you can do the link
Yeah.
tree. I have a link tree in my Chocoblog
Yeah.
account. Chocoblog.
Representing.
By the way, I did back yesterday. Screw off.
Not enough frame for the back.
So, you know, if we do another podcast tomorrow I'm gonna be doing chest. So, but
gotta work.
but yeah. So, this episode is dedicated to a lot of show business criticism.
It is.
And
I've got plenty to offer.
Oh, speaking of OnlyFans, do you believe me that I have never ever gone into OnlyFans? I don't know if you follow anybody on OnlyFans or not.
I've been
Or-
on the site one time to check it out, but as soon as it started, like I started catching myself like falling down a rabbit hole, I got off.
But I've never seen what it looks like. I know their logo, but I don't know what it looks like in terms of. Now, do you know that that there's a bunch of girls that fight in the UFC, and Paige Van Zandt is probably the biggest.
Yeah.
But there is the Argentinian girl, the one that works
Aileen,
something.
Perez or something.
Yeah.
She's about to fight, or she's fighting on that 311 card, I think.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a big fan of hers.
I
don't like
haven't
her-
seen her fight.
I'm not a big fan because of the last fight that she did.
She knocked her out and she twerked, no?
Well, she was overweight. That's what I
Oh,
don't
that's
like.
right. That's
She
right.
was overweight. And
Well,
not-
that booty got to sell, you know. I
Dude.
mean,
And then she did the twerk thing, beat the girl and did the twerk thing, and I'm like, dude,
that's
you were
bad taste.
overweight.
That's in bad taste. Yes.
You failed,
Yeah.
and just that lack of.
Yeah. That's.
I didn't like that.
That's in bad taste.
Yeah.
I remember that the last fight she had.
I don't
She
like
got a
not
lot
liking
of- she got a
somebody.
lot of credit.
So hopefully this next fight she'll do something. I doubt it. I don't like not liking people, but that was definitely like you said
Yeah.
in bad taste. She's a decent fighter. I mean, she's on like a little streak.
She's up and coming. Like more than up and coming.
Yeah.
She's gonna be contending.
If she wins this next fight, she's got something going on.
What do you think of fucking? We talked about it, I think, the other day on Monday morning, but for the camera, what do you think of what's his name? The caveman.
Clay Guida,
Clay Guida.
dude, I love Clay Guida. I love him.
I don't.
I love him because he's one reason why I
Crazy
really
tenacious.
I really like Clay Guida. The feelings that everyone has when you're about to go and compete, that scary feeling. You know, everyone's felt that shit.
Yeah.
I've
The
felt
butterflies.
it. The butterflies. When I look at Clay Guida, he either doesn't have those feelings or he overcomes those feelings, and I'm always kind of jealous. He looks like
Really? Because he
look-
looks like a
he looks like he's about to have fun.
he
Everyone
looks like
else,
he's about to have a heart attack to me.
he's so excited,
I don't know if that's excitement or it's
dude.
like.
Are you serious?
He looks like he's about to have a heart attack, nerve wracking.
Dude, he's got the. Did you see this last fight?
Yeah.
He was just smiling and excited. He was definitely excited.
You think so?
But and it looks to me, he looks like that every single fight, and I'm like, this guy is out there having fun. Like which, dude, he's like on his 20 something. I mean, he's
No,
been
he
fighting
is-
for
he
a
is,
long time. He really shouldn't
Dana
be
White
still
suggested
nervous.
he
Yeah, him, Anthony Smith, and one other person.
Tony Ferguson.
No, it was somebody that fought.
Oh, this last.
And they were like, what do you think about these? Anthony Smith, Clay Guida, and somebody else. Dana White was like, oh, Chris Weidman.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
Oh, gosh. I've been mad at him ever since he, like, poked that guy's eye out. Like,
Yeah. And Chris
And we're
Weidman
still
was a
celebrating.
champ. Chris Weidman was a champ, and Anthony Smith was a champ or no?
Anthony Smith was never a champ.
He was a contender, but he wasn't. He was a number one contender. I think
Yep.
because he went against John Jones,
Yep.
right? Yes.
John Jones beat him up.
Yeah.
But he just had something bad just happened to him. His, like, good friend, coach, just died.
Yes.
And he hasn't gotten over that, dude. He was walking out to the ring.
I remember reading something
crying.
right before or something. Yeah.
He got beat up really bad by Eric Anders. Really bad, like worse than he should have. And was crying in the... This was weird because I don't even know if Eric Anders did a speech. I don't know if I missed it, but I do remember Joe Rogan interviewing Anthony Smith after the fight. He was like, "Are you okay to talk?" And Anders was like, "Yeah." He was still kind of crying,
Yeah.
but you hardly ever see the loser
Yeah.
talking.
Well,
the last time I saw that was when
DC.
Tony Ferguson.
Oh really?
Tony Ferguson against
Oh, when he was gonna retire or not?
Yeah.
No, well, there
But
is a reason.
before that-
There is a reason for it, though.
before that was DC.
Yeah, there is a reason. Joe Rogan said that he made a mistake when he interviewed DC after
Yep.
he got knocked out by John Jones.
Well, he said he wasn't going to interview anybody that just got knocked out,
Yeah, and so
and I agree with that.
and most of the people that lose, unless they're like going to retire or something like this, they're
well,
not.
no
gonna,
one really wants
they're
to
not
talk
gonna,
to you.
they're- Nobody wants to talk.
No one
they're
wants to
they're
hear
gone.
from you.
They're
Like,
gone.
why? Why'd you lose? I don't care.
I saw they interviewed not him, but they interviewed in this last not the last, the previous one, Davison Figueiredo.
Yeah.
They interviewed him even though he lost like decisively.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
him
funny
against-
because
him against Jan?
Peter Yan.
I
Peter
saw
Yan
that.
took the fight.
Why did they interview him?
I don't know.
I didn't see the-
They took the fight. He took the fight 50-45. And I thought it was 49-46, but that's just my opinion. It
But he
just-
definitely lost.
He definitely lost. Not Peter Yan, Davison. They interviewed Peter Yan, and he had his kid there. His kid was so emotional that his dad won. It was a really beautiful moment, and they ran off the stage, ran off the octagon, and while they were interviewing, so he didn't wait for the Davison interview. And Davison was like, well, everybody has their day. Today wasn't my day; it was his day. And I'm thinking like, but it kind of sounded to me like, what do you mean it was his day? He fucked you up like 5 rounds to none. He literally like lit him up. He had no answer for
I
anything
don't
he
think
did.
I saw that fight now that
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it. Because I
Yeah.
remember that. Because Davison used to be, I don't want to say he was like the boogeyman, but he was like, I'm mean and I'm going to beat you up. And he did do that.
He took
except
it-
until Brandon Moreno
He-
dealt with him.
He took his back in the first round on a scramble, I guess, if I'm not mistaken. And was it this fight? Yeah. He took Peter Yan's back. Peter Yan got out of there by turning into his close guard and started beating him up for the rest of the round. So I was like, oh man, he took his back. This is done deal probably. But then Peter Yan turns around and starts beating him up in close guard. Peter Yan took him. Then Davison closed his guard again. Peter Yan picked him up and put him on the fence. Put his head on the fence. Started beating him up. And it was like, oh man, that was bad.
Yeah.
The guy lost the fight today. He was like,
You think he's
yeah,
probably-
it just
he's
wasn't
done?
my day. And no, I don't know if
Well,
he's
done.
done. I don't-
Done as a
as a fighter,
contender.
as a contender, yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. It's
I mean,
What
Peter
is this
Yan
show?
might.
What is this show becoming? We were talking about movies and stuff, and now we're going into
Did
fights.
you see Crone?
I saw the
The end
end. Yeah,
sequence?
I don't know if I want to see the rest.
God. If you saw the end sequence,
No,
you
I
saw the
didn't
whole
see. I
fight.
didn't see that last card. That's the previous card with Davidson. But I didn't see.
Oh.
I didn't see this last card.
If you saw the last sequence,
But I
of
will.
Crone,
I'll watch it.
The whole fight was that,
He is.
and I think that's why Bryce Mitchell did what he did, because that whole, open, and then they get close, and then as soon as they got close, Crone would do that weird pull guard.
Yeah,
the real slow
he
one.
jump guard. Yeah.
It was slow. It was like he would just kind of pull, jump. That happened like at least 2 times
Why would
before the last
somebody
sequence.
do this thing?
Caesar Gracie put a thing out. He was like, that jumping guard is the worst thing to do in an MMA fight
I
or a
mean,
street fight. Because the dude is going to slam you.
Caesar Gracie, if you don't know, is the one who gave the black belts to Nick
To
and Nate
Diaz.
Diaz, to Jake Shields, probably Clay Guida because they're all playing in the same playground, but a bunch of other fighters,
He's legit.
So, and
I just
to me
don't
that's
think-
to me that's nuts.
Crone
That's
did
nuts.
better than in his last fight.
I understand fighters, jiu-jitsu fighters. I understand. I don't approve it, but I understand jiu-jitsu fighters who, especially in the past, when
It was different.
yeah. But I mean, in the past, like 10 years ago, Anthony Pettis was doing very well in this kind of game.
MMA is way different
Yes.
today than 10 years ago.
You get taken down.
changes
You get
every 3
taken
years.
down. You close your guard, like fucking what's his name? The most famous fight probably in recent history, not ancient history, was Anderson Silva with Chael Sonnen.
Oh my gosh. That's one of my favorite fights.
Got taken down, closed his guard, and then he got beat up, right? But that's usually what happens, and then you're just hunting for that submission, and then this and this and this, while you're getting beat up. The problem is that nowadays, most of the time, you're just getting beat up. I do not remember the last time I've seen a
Charles is the
legit
only
submission.
Charles is the only one that has done it in recent memory.
What
and does
about
it well.
what about Paul Craig? He also has some. He's got his. Yeah.
He's a danger, but he fought too.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
And he went against Bo
Bo Nickel, yeah.
and didn't do.
Well, Bo Nickel didn't want to go down to the ground with him. Or yes.
Bo didn't look as good as what I think
Right.
Bo thinks he
Yeah.
looked.
Yeah. If you want to be fucking, he thinks he's a contender and all that stuff.
He still has some work to do.
Yeah.
He will be good, I think. I still don't know about how good, but he's definitely he belongs. I don't know if he's going to be a champion. We'll see. I still need to see him up against somebody legit.
Well, if
Paul
he's
Craig
if,
isn't legit.
If he were to be a champion, who would he go against? He's
They're- They're
middleweight.
I think he's in the same weight class as like
Chimaev.
Yes. Yep.
Not that Chimaev is
So that's Strickland.
Strickland. Yeah.
So that's 85. I don't know the names to the numbers.
Yeah. No, 85. Yeah. That's right. Welterweight, I guess.
Dude, that would be a good fight, but I think Chimaev would wear his ass out.
I don't know if they're gonna even wrestle, man. I have. Look, I'm not saying that Chimaev is a better wrestler than Bo Nickel,
He's a better grappler
but I'm gonna tell you that yes. First
and
of all,
striker.
First of all,
Take him. You're gonna get Chimaev is gonna pound on you.
when you can be the greatest wrestler, if somebody runs you against the wall and puts you on the wall and takes you down there, it's not as it's a different animal, you know. You can sprawl.
Yep.
Wrestlers sprawl, you know. And it's a good thing.
They need room for the
Correct.
To defend.
Yes. So that's why the fence is such a
It's a weapon.
It's a weapon. It's also a very. It's like half guard. It's John Danaher calls it a paradox of the half guard. That it's a great place to be offensively because you're past some of their guard already. You know. But it's also a great place to be from not offensively. I should say. Offensively, it's a great place to be on top, and offensively, it's a great place to be on the bottom too.
Right.
right?
I get what you're saying.
So that's a paradox if you want to talk about it this way. Now, same thing is with the fence. You know, whenever I used to coach the MMA class here, I'll tell people it would be a great idea to take somebody to the wall
Yeah.
and then try to take them down because there is no sprawls.
Right.
Now, on the other hand, it's also easier to defend on the wall because yes, there are no sprawls, but they can't drive you any further back.
Right.
They only have so many avenues. They gotta pull you away from the wall in order to take you down.
Right.
And there's only so many ways. There's many ways to do it, but as far as technique, but conceptually, there's only one. There's only so many ways. You know, so few ways, I should say. Whereas in open mat, in open space, there is like a million ways to take you down. You can take you down this way, that way, run you through, you know, all that stuff, throw you, you know.
What do you think is more advantageous, or do you think it's equal? The side of a cage, or a angled pit
the
wall?
pit?
And I guess I need to differentiate whether we're talking MMA or grappling. So let's say MMA, or like say karate combat.
Yeah. Well, I can't tell because they reset them.
Really quick.
I don't know exact rules of the karate combat.
You're
Unfortunately,
only down for a second.
Yeah.
It's like 3
it kind of
seconds or-
reminds me. It kind of reminds me of Muay Thai where they clinch, but then they they
Yeah.
separate them, and it's like,
Yeah.
you know, we put so much emphasis on clinch in training. Not we, I don't really, but you know, and then we get reset, and I understand why because it's so important and all that stuff, but.
They'll give you a second.
But they give you a few seconds. And,
I mean, like Craig against Philly Fresh
yeah.
did the triangle off the wall.
No, yes, but we have a very small sample size also.
Yeah.
We got a huge sample size in MMA.
Yeah.
But I've never, and also I can't really speak for it because I've trained on the wall, but I never trained on a pit wall. So
Yeah.
I think that being on the pit wall, you can't. So I don't know if you remember the match between Fionn Davis and Mackenzie.
Yes.
Fionn
That
took
was
Mackenzie.
intense.
Fionn took Mackenzie, and she put her back on the pit, on the slanted wall, and that's a 45-degree, I
Right.
think, or whatever, something like that, right? So even though it's a smooth wall, it's not like the cage, which actually hurts.
Yeah.
Even though it's a smooth wall, the angle doesn't quite allow you to climb your back up.
Right.
So if you imagine that this is the wall, I think I've explained that before on the podcast, but this is the wall in MMA, right? It's a vertical wall. And if I'm down here and I put my back to the wall and I start pushing off of you, I can climb my way back up. And you can hear often
You can
the
gain height,
commentators
wall walk.
talk about wall walking.
Yeah.
That's what it is. You can't fucking do that thing on the pit. First of all, the pit is only this big. You
How
can't
high?
really.
How tall is it?
I don't know how tall it is, but
So it's not tall as a person.
no, it's not. I mean, depends on how tall the person is. Maybe
Yeah.
like Jelly Bean Girl. Hey, Jelly Bean Girl, if you're watching, I don't know why I'm talking to your phone. What the fuck am I talking to your phone for? Jelly Bean Girl,
Funny.
if you're watching and you still look the same at the time that you're watching, because who knows how many years from now that could be, and Ian is still, single. Remember, if you have a good heart, you qualify.
I'm good.
No,
Sick. Oh.
she's a
She'd have
jelly
to
bean.
say, she'd have to say, she,
You can put her in your pocket and carry her around.
if she
You
has a
take her
good
out on a
heart,
date and they're gonna say table for one. You're like, hold on.
I'm wondering what we could talk about, dude. She might be super interesting. We'll have to see. Comment below.
Who, Jelly Bean Girl?
Yeah.
Oh, she will for sure.
Yeah.
She will.
Just DM me that number.
If it's meant to be, you'll guess it. Have you seen that? Have you seen that
No.
episode of Friends?
It's pretty funny though.
The Friends.
I've never watched.
You never watched an episode of
Friends.
Friends? Ross was dating some girl. Went out on a date with some girl. You know who Ross is, right? What's
The
his
dumb
name?
one?
David Schwimmer. No,
Oh,
David
Schwimmer.
Schwimmer, the paleontology doctor of paleontology.
He's a doctor?
He was a doctor of paleontology. He was a PhD, right? And
Was he?
Yeah, in the series, right?
That's so funny, I never
And
knew
and,
that.
and Rachel was telling him, yeah, like
Jennifer
if I have a
Aniston.
heart attack, if I have a heart attack in a restaurant, I would want you there with your little brushes, because he was saying,
not
I'm
gonna
a
help,
doctor.
it's not gonna help.
I'm a doctor. She's like, yeah, if I have a heart attack, I want you there with
Right,
your little
bru-
brushes.
brushing the dust off.
Anyway, so he takes this girl out on a date, and I don't know why she was like, he didn't want to have anything to do with her anymore. So they went to his apartment, but then he changed his mind. I can't remember the backstory. He changed his mind, and he's like, you know what? How about we, I'll call you. And he sees her to the door, and he kind of literally like fucking trying to close the door on her. And she's like, wait, how are you gonna call me? I didn't give you my number. And he's like, I'll guess it if it's meant to be. If it's
That's
meant
pretty funny.
to be.
That's pretty funny.
That's what I'm saying. I'll give you her number. I'll guess it if it's meant
That's
to be.
pretty funny.
So yeah.
I've always been such against that show.
Why? Let me guess. Yeah, I
Pretty-
hear you.
pretty
And you know
much
what?
for the
My
same
my
reason.
wife and I had that conversation in the 90s.
Well,
That was a normal
let's see,
thing.
Let's see if we're right.
Oh, tell me.
I don't know any of those people. I haven't been to any situation those people have been in. I just do not relate to a bunch. First of all, I don't think anybody lives like that.
Well, yeah.
Second of all, it's like super.
Oh, I thought you were
super
gonna say
white.
yes, super white.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough.
And fake super white, because I don't think those people really exist.
Interestingly enough.
That's not real white. It's just not. It's super white, but not even real. You don't live like that.
Well, I don't live like that. Okay, you can say that because I work in a restaurant and I could be.
I don't think anybody lives like
Yeah,
that.
it makes it. Yeah.
And it's a TV show, and I get
Yes,
that,
it
but
is.
it's like it's just not. I do not relate to it,
Correct. I mean, but
and I don't know those people, and I don't want to know them.
I don't know. You don't.
I don't know
To
if
me,
I
I
have
don't
bad-
have to relate to it in personally relate to something to be attracted to the show.
Well, my thing is, I'm just kind of like, I'm kind of like, fuck those people. I don't know them. I don't want to know them.
Yeah.
I don't want to be friends with those people. And it was like that when when that show was out. Everyone loved that show, but I was like, dude, I would try to watch it, and I'd be like, what the fuck is this? It was like Seinfeld, totally different show. And it's not like I don't watch a whole bunch of TV. I never really have since I was a little boy. But Seinfeld, I think, is a great show. Now, you might argue those people don't really exist, and I'd be like, they seem more realistic to me than the Friends people, because they're both like comedies.
Yeah.
You know,
I like them both. I actually like Friends more than Seinfeld, but I do like
Really?
Seinfeld. I've seen all of the Seinfeld episodes as well as all the Friends episodes. I like Seinfeld for different reasons. I
Yeah.
like it because I think that in Friends is a little more lighthearted, whereas Seinfeld is a little more subtle because they're all a bunch of like selfish pricks in Seinfeld,
Yeah.
which I kind of like, and I think
Yeah.
I think that this is what everybody relates to, because everybody is a little bit of a, and
it's
when-
harmless.
and it's harmless, yes, until the last episode.
Which I never saw.
You never seen the last episode where they went to
Didn't they have like
they went to jail?
Was there another group that was just like them?
No.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but no. The very last episode,
Okay.
the series finale, they go to jail, because they went to.
Spoiler alert.
If you haven't seen the fucking final episode by now,
That was like what,
you might as well get spoiled.
20 years ago, more than
Dude,
that.
yeah, more than that. they go to another town, and they see a guy or a lady, I can't remember, get robbed across the street. And they had a video camera, one of those camcorders, but the big ones, right? And they had a video camera, and they started fucking recording it, like they're recording a TV show or something. Like they're recording like nowadays people are, but they did it just for fun, right? Like those pricks that do it today for fun, right? And the guy is getting robbed and then like mugged, I think, and then they're like, oh, officer, yeah, they robbed him, and he's like, oh, okay, so you all saw that? And they said, yes. They go like, and the officer, but they were in another state. Can't remember which one. And the officer goes like, so you all saw that and then you recorded it? Yes. So you didn't do anything about it? And they're like, no, what are we going to do? He says, well, in this state we have the Good Samaritan law, which means that if you get, if you see this happen and you don't get involved to help, you are liable.
I don't think
and
that's true.
Well, whatever. And they put him in jail, which is like, and they were all like, but we can't go to jail. We have a meeting at NBC or something. It's like crazy, right? But it was just like, and how self-absorbed they all were.
Yeah.
You know, every one of them.
Yeah.
And that was like to me it was like, and if you look at it, if you look at the whole show with that kind of, from that perspective, you know, and you just pay attention to how self-absorbed they are and how
It's pretty funny.
It's pretty funny because the things they do are like totally like, I mean, the show is about nothing.
Like George.
We based this
with the big-
podcast on
the
that
show, it's
show.
like basically
Remember
like-
when we said we're gonna do this? What is it gonna be about? Nothing. We're not
I
gonna.
don't know.
Yeah, we're not gonna. We're gonna be. It's
Remember
gonna be,
the one where George was dating the girl with the big ass hands?
Oh my god.
Dude! Dude, that's what I was in college. And I just remember watching that going, what the fuck is going on? And it was like, this is the fucking funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. But not even like the funny. I was just like, oh my gosh, this shit is fucking funny. They show her face. And then they show him looking at her hands.
Those hands look like Andre the Giant.
It was obviously someone else's hands, but it was so funny. Dude, I couldn't stop laughing. I was choking.
One of my favorite.
They even touch him, be like, oh.
One of my favorite things that they did in that show is how they killed off the lady that he married, the executive from NBC, when they pitched the idea for their TV show, which was about nothing, which is the ironic thing because Seinfeld and George, they go to NBC to pitch the idea for a TV show that they have, and when they ask him what is the show about, and they go like, nothing. George
so
goes like,
meta.
Nothing.
It's so meta.
And anyway, so they go So they go there, and one of the executives is this lady, and George starts flirting with her, and she kind of falls in love or whatever with him. So she's like rich and stuff, and he ends up marrying her. I don't know how they ended up doing that, but then, but he all of a sudden he changes his mind. He's like, I don't want to get married anymore. I don't know why, but I don't want to get married. And then I don't know why they decided to do that. Maybe they decided George should not be married as a character, right? But they had the thing, so they decided they had to kill the character off or something. Or maybe they decided instead of not going through with the marriage, we can just kill her off. Do you remember how they killed her off? She made him do the invitations, but he stuck her up with the invitations to send the invitations for the wedding. So she got poisoned licking the envelopes for the invitations. She licked so many envelopes, it was going to be a big one. This has to be the best kill off of a character ever.
That's pretty funny.
There was so many people invited that she had to lick like hundreds of fucking envelopes, and the glue on the envelopes ended up poisoning her. She died.
Oh my
and
gosh.
George was like, you got off the hook, man.
Dodge that bullet. That's pretty funny.
Oh, I never.
pretty funny.
Dude, I gotta watch that episode again because it's hilarious how they get rid of a character.
It was a great show. My dad loved that show.
No, it was a great show. I'm just saying that Friends to me was a little more lighthearted. I could watch Friends like any time of the day, whatever, and I could just as easily fall asleep to Friends, like because I've seen it like so. I was like, I'll doze off,
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say is a very white show, right? Because all of the Friends are white. Now, this is not something that's. I didn't live in America at the time.
Okay.
But we're talking about 1990s.
When you watch,
I didn't know.
Friends?
No, in the 1990s, I didn't live in the States. But I don't know how much of an irregular thing it was, especially for New York City. I mean, New York City is a big, like, metropolitan area, but Manhattan, like they lived in, I think it was the Village, right? That was Midtown, if I'm not mistaken, and they lived Midtown Manhattan. And how unusual was it for a group of 6 best friends? 6? Three boys and 3 girls? Yes. 6 best friends to be all white. I don't think it was that unusual.
That's not that unusual.
Yeah. I mean, even today, probably less so.
What's unusual
But-
to me, and I didn't even pay attention because, like I said, I never watched an episode. I've seen clips.
The way they lived.
It just seemed to me that, like, whenever I watched that show, there was never any black people on it,
Okay, so
and I'm just like, that's just not really.
interestingly, Ross hooked up with a girlfriend. She became his girlfriend, and she was also a professor of something. She had a PhD. I don't know how they met. I can't remember. She was black. She was a very pretty girl, and I've seen her somewhere else after that. Also, the actress. And then
I mean,
Ross
that's interesting.
Ross broke up with her
Of course.
when they were on vacation, and she hooked up with Joey. No, my bad. She was Joey's girlfriend, but Joey had
The dumb
absolutely
one.
nothing to do with her.
The dumb one.
Yes, he had absolutely nothing that he could talk. She comes to New York, right? And he goes, and she goes. He says, "Oh, what are we gonna do today? Where am I gonna take you?" And she goes, "Well, I want to go see the Met." And he goes like, "Okay, first of all, it's the Mets. The Mets. Second, we're Yankee fans here."
That's pretty funny.
So she's like, "No, the Metropolitan Museum." So actually, when they went,
That's funny.
when they went,
The Metropolitan Museum.
they went somewhere on the. They went to the Super Bowl or somewhere on vacation or something. All of them, and I can't remember what happened. And that's where she broke up with Joey and she hooked up with Ross because the two of them had more in common. They were actually hanging out and talking about, because they were both scientists and whatnot. And that's actually when Ross hooked up with, Joey hooked up with Rachel because I don't know what.
Jennifer Aniston.
Yes, I don't know what happened. They had a crush on each other, but it was just a crush and blah blah blah. And then Ross broke up later on with the girl. But
What's the name of the dude that died just recently?
the what?
The dude that just
Oh,
died.
Matthew Perry.
Yeah, that's all crazy. Like,
Just like 3 people went to
jail.
Oh, I don't know. Did they go to jail or they just?
I haven't followed it, but
Indictment. I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah,
they're
but-
chasing some people because of some shenanigans.
Yeah, man. How many of those? Just ask Hitler. He's doctor fucking.
Dude, he was on that meth.
Well, there's a good question to ask. How do you not give him that shit? What are you gonna do?
Right? What are you gonna say? No?
Are you gonna say no?
Especially somebody that wants meth.
When there's like 100 other doctors that will willingly
Right.
give him
Right.
anything. Of course. But yeah.
How about that?
I don't feel bad for Hitler's doctor. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I don't feel bad for any of them.
Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying.
How about the what do you think about the United Healthcare situation?
Oh, dude.
Isn't that
dude.
crazy?
I know. We should have spoken about that a little bit. Let's close in on that.
Isn't that
It's
crazy, bro?
quarter to midnight. So we don't condone crime, murders,
Absolutely
and all that
not.
stuff. And all that stuff.
I cannot, and my dad kind of taught me this. I can't celebrate the death of another person, and I want myself to live, so I want everyone else to live. I don't think you should kill anybody for crimes. Just put them away.
So you're against the death penalty.
I am.
Yeah.
With all that being said,
There are exceptions.
I do think I
No.
think there's a place. It's just I'm not gonna decide it, but I do think some people might need to be dealt with quickly. I will say that, but again, I'm not going to be the person that's going to judge that. It's not my
Yeah.
job. If you give me
You
a
know
lot,
what?
bunch of money,
Remember
we'll think
Norman
about it.
Schwarzkopf, General
Storm and Norman.
Yeah, Storm and Norman. He said, "It's not." By the way, I'm not a. I don't. I'm gonna say what he said. I don't believe in God when I say that thing or anything like this, but that's his words. He said. They asked him, "What do you think about the people that that did I think was it about 9/11? Even though it was after his time, right? It was, and he said, "It's not my position to judge. You know, that's God's job. My job is to arrange the meeting, right?" So
Yeah, I've heard that shit
we
before.
have those kind of people that whose job is to arrange the meeting. You know.
I was in the Marines, and there's like these little slogans, kill them all, let God sort them out. When I was 18, that might have kind of got me like, but I'm just like, okay, whatever,
Well, that's why. Yeah.
whatever.
But the CEO,
Oh my gosh, that was crazy.
not a saint, right?
No, dude. One of the graphics they put up that
Yeah,
made me
I
kind of
saw
feel
that, I
good.
saw that.
They had United Healthcare was like 30%.
32% denial,
My health insurance is Kaiser,
7%.
7%. There, I was like,
The national average 16.
that's so crazy.
They're
and then
double the
using,
national
they were using
average.
AI.
They were using AI to deny, and
Dude, you can.
they were. I was reading some comments.
I don't think you
and
should get
stuff.
shot in the back for stuff like that. But it's like one of those things where when you do crazy stuff, you can't expect something not to happen. And even you wouldn't even think that this kid who comes from like privilege, you wouldn't even think that type of person would do it. But
He came from privilege, but he had chronic back problems
well,
for
his
the
mom,
last few years.
his mom was jammed up before he was. His mom had bad
Oh, really?
neuropathy.
I didn't read that.
And was just in pain, and they wouldn't do anything. That went on for years. And I think his back problems came. I think they came after that. But regardless, he had really bad back problems that took him away from.
Bottom line is this: his life is ruined, as well as the life of the person he took.
Yeah.
Obviously, that life is gone. The family of the life,
Dude,
both families really
Yeah.
are messed up at this point because
Yeah.
his family. I'm talking about the killer. His family
Luigi.
is Luigi. Yeah, Luigi's name. Luigi is the name. His family is messed up now because their kid is
Going to jail
is
forever.
going to jail for life. There is so much evidence against him already, and all these people that talk about conspiracies, please stop.
Dude,
This is like the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
come on.
It's conspiracies are a nice, funny thing to make up. Please, don't tell me I'm brainwashed
Right.
by Big Brother okay, talking to me about conspiracies and I'm brainwashed. But anyway,
Did you hear
But,
his little treatise?
yeah,
The girl on TikTok read it, and
he's the thing is that aside from all these tragedies, both families tragedies, I think that this really brought awareness to the problem.
it did 100%.
Unfortunately, something like this has to happen to bring. It's unfortunate that something like this has to happen
100%.
to bring awareness to an obvious problem that everybody knows about.
Yep.
And we're just not.
Because-
Nobody's doing anything because there's so much money behind.
Yeah, what can you do? Like, I
Well-
had to go to the doctor today, and I'm like, imagining, what if they were like, no, we can't do this? What am I going to do? Who do I go to? Am I going to get a lawyer? It's like, it becomes so complicated. I have enough energy just to manage my life. I can only imagine what sick people have to go through trying to call and
I
get
just-
anesthesia for surgery. They're trying to cut that out. Like, what are you talking about? I don't know what I would do if I was in that situation.
You know that I read a comment regarding that case. A woman was saying that her mom got surgery. She paid. The mom got a surgery and they went through with the surgery. The surgery cost like obviously tens of thousands. Then she got sent a bill, and the insurance denied. The insurance approved the surgery. Then they decided not to pay for it. Why? Because the doctors used an anesthesia which was not authorized by the insurance.
Dude.
The way insurance companies work with providers, with healthcare providers, is this, or with automobile services. Like for example, I used to work in South Africa. I used to work for a car glass company, Autoglass, right? and we would do replacement. And with each insurance company, we had different deal. For instance, one insurance company used to pay more than another, but that had nothing to do with the customer's premiums or anything like this. We had nothing to do with the customer's premiums. That had to do with the deals you make with each insurance company. For example, we had insurance companies that for car glass repair paid nothing, and other companies that for car glass repair would pay an arm and a leg. But when it came to replacement of glass, it was the other way around. The ones that paid an arm and a leg for repair would pay almost nothing for replacement,
Right.
and vice versa, right?
Right.
So when you make when you're a service provider of any kind, whether it's
You're
car service
wheeling
or
and dealing.
healthcare, you're willing and dealing with each and every insurance company. Now that reflects on the customer's premiums, on the the insurance customer's premiums, of course. But with that being said, I understand how insurance company has an agreement with a hospital to only provide one certain type of anesthesia. Why is that? It's not because they care about the safety of, or they think, oh, this is not safe. It's not that. It's because that insurance company has a deal with certain
Right.
drug provider
Right, drug providers, drug
to
makers.
drug makers to pay for their
Right.
product.
Right.
Just like they will not approve you buying Tylenol, for example, because they have a deal with Advil.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And that's
That-
crazy.
yes, but that's how it
Right.
works. So anyway, this woman they declined to pay because the hospital messed up. And okay, so she has to
That's
pay.
not her fault.
It's not her fault. It's the hospital's fault. So what does she do? She has to sue the hospital and blah blah blah. But then, what the fuck? The hospital is gonna be like, well, this is what we had in mom and blah blah blah. You know how long this shit is gonna take. Anyway, so meanwhile you're going bankrupt because you have to pay lawyers and shit like this.
Yep.
The whole thing is broken.
Yep.
Now, she finds out that there was this specific insurance company was being investigated for declining.
This is United Healthcare.
No, a different one, I guess. I don't think that she named it. But there was a case a year later or something that this insurance company was being investigated for denying claims that were, there was some fishy business, right? And she got her money back and then some, because she went to court.
Good for her.
She got her money back, and judge awarded her punitive damages too.
Good.
So,
One of the lucky ones.
well, I mean, judges don't like.
Yeah, but most people get bent over. Most people can't go that far.
Well, that's the thing. But you
You got to think that, dude. There's probably millions of people who have been
unfortunately,
touched.
yes. So unfortunately, that's how the system is, and that system is broken. And I can't believe that. And there is a solution to it. And people don't like it because people mistaken that solution for communism for some reason, which is like the dumbest fucking thing
Stupid,
ever. And usually those are the same people that yell out conspiracy theories.
Right.
There's a correlation there.
100%.
But anyway, socialism, communism, whatever you want to call it. No. Healthcare should be provided by the government for one reason and one reason alone. Because you pay taxes to the government. Now, constitutionally, the government is not obligated to provide you with health care. They're obligated to provide you with security against external threats, right? Which is the army, which is what the army is for, right? But
And cops.
and cops and stuff, yes. But I think that healthcare should not be a privilege. It should be, everybody should be entitled to it, because
Right.
it's 2020 fucking 5, right? It's 21st century. It's a right. It's a human right. It's not a privilege, okay? If you want to drive a car, you gotta have insurance, but that's a privilege because it's not your right to drive a car. It's not your right to have a driver license. It's a privilege, right?
Yeah.
It's a privilege. It's not your, which I find hilarious because apparently it's your constitutional right to carry a gun if you wanted to, right? Don't get me started.
Don't get me. Yeah.
Yeah, don't get me started
Yeah.
on that shit. But it's a privilege to drive a car, so you pay for that privilege by having a mandatory insurance, and I can understand that. Healthcare should not
Well,
be this way.
I think the insurance is mandatory because it's not just you. It's other people that are involved.
That's right.
I
Correct.
have to have insurance because
Correct.
something might happen where you're involved and I have to pay for that.
People are making.
And I think it should be the same way with health insurance.
Yeah, I mean, it should be mandatory, but it should be. Right now, it's mandatory in California because of Obamacare.
Yeah.
Because it's affordable and all that stuff, and that's okay. Problem is that the more affordable it is, the worse the insurance itself is.
Right.
You know, the
100%.
the deductibles are crazy and all that
Yep.
stuff, and it shouldn't be like this. You know, it's the closest thing we have to universal healthcare, but it shouldn't be like this. I think that, and it's not what I think actually. It's statistically proven that. And do some research. Don't ask me to fucking quote research. Do your own fucking research. The not you, whoever is gonna do the
I need
questioning.
to do it too, right.
But
I agree.
people, but countries that have universal healthcare spend per person per capita. They spend less money
Way less.
than we do here, than our government does. Our government, not people. Why? Because the healthcare services are cheaper. They're not inflated by profit taking. Yes, you can see by the price of medicine, and stuff like this abroad. You can see by and it's like, oh yeah, but the doctors get paid a lot less. It's not that a lot less, and they're not exactly poor. Let's not make it out as if doctors in Canada are fucking living in poverty or living the same salary as a servant in a restaurant.
Right.
It's not the same thing. Okay.
No.
They're not. They're also not drowning in student loan debt for the first 20
That's a
years
great
of their
point.
career. Because to become a doctor, you got to study and then some. By the way, we have a doctor next week coming in. I'm gonna ask him in advance if we can talk about this.
Yeah.
We should
That's a
close
great
out.
point.
We should close out. We're gonna talk with Dr. Dan Dorcas
Dr.
about shit like
God
this
bless him. He's so badass.
because he's quite honest. He's been very honest with us for certain things in private, and I don't know if he would like to say that out on record. Not that. I don't know what his opinion on this is, but stuff that we've spoken about. I don't know if he's gonna want to say that on record.
We'll see.
But we'll see, and I'm gonna ask him in advance, and we'll talk. We'll talk about whatever we can.
It'll be a great conversation regardless.
Yes. So tune in. Anyway, that's it for tonight. Not because it's cold, but so much because it's late.
It's late. I gotta be up in 4 hours.
Dude, for real? You started early?
It's always like that.
No, I thought you started later. I thought you started at 9 o'clock or something.
Not tomorrow. Usually on Thursdays I do, but tomorrow I gotta be there at 6.
Shit! Let's get out.
It's all good.
Let's get out of here.
That's how much I kind of love doing this. It's like a part of my life.
Well, you
now.
learn new things. You learn how the lady got killed off in Seinfeld. Not for nothing, but I think it's an important info. It's something you didn't know before you got here.
We're learning together.
And I didn't know who the Jelly Bean Girl is. There you go.
In a freaking suitcase, dude.
She came out of
Looking like a 13-year-old. I'm like, Dana, what are you doing? She doesn't even look like a porn girl, or just looks like a little. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
She doesn't look like she's 12 or 13. She's small. She's petite.
Her body is little.
No, yeah, she's
I'm
petite,
just
but
saying.
she's not. She doesn't look like she's underage or anything. Like she doesn't look like a teenager even.
She doesn't look like a teenager, but to me, I think the whole thing was in kind of poorer taste.
Oh, probably, yeah, no doubt.
But the way that she looks even makes it more so to me.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. But if she looked any different, would she come out of a fucking suitcase?
She couldn't fit.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? What is he gonna have to?
But it's for Power Slap, dude, and no one likes Power Slap. Not even crazy people like Power Slap.
It's the stupidest thing ever.
It's so gross.
It's the stupidest thing ever.
We're gonna talk to Dr. Dorcas about that too, because I've got questions.
That'd be interesting. I got questions about.
I'm not a doctor, but that's not healthy. To be continued.
We'll see you next week.
Smash that
like, subscribe,
comment, and tell us.
Jelly Bean Girl, if you're watching. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But any white girls. All right, that's it.
I'm taking all applications.
Thank you.